Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Dawn from Creative Appliques. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell down below to be notified when I upload new content. In today's video, we're going to do a super fun project and it's very fast. We are going to make some in the hoop mug rugs. Now, these are perfect little gifts to give for teacher appreciation, for the end of the year as a thank you. They are all done in the 4x4 hoop, so anybody can do these if you have an embroidery machine. It's all done in one hooping, and it sews up in maybe about 10 minutes at the most. This one is super cute for a teacher because it looks like it's on a piece of paper and it says A+ teacher. We have many more of these coming out as well. I would love to know in the comments what profession or what you would like to have on a mug rug like this to create personalization. These are awesome little gifts for, you can pop this in a gift bag along with a gift card as a thank you to a teacher, to a nurse, to your hairstylist, to anybody, really. They're great little stocking stuffers. They're great little gifts to give to kids at a birthday party. And it's a nice little personalized item that you can give, and it's something that you made and is a way of saying thank you and I love you and I appreciate you. So if this sounds intriguing to you, let's get started at the cutting table on this great little project. Okay, so here are the supplies that you're going to need. A 5" by 5" piece of batting, polyester or all natural, whatever you would like is fine. So a piece of batting. You're going to need some fabric for the top, the front of the mug rug. So that's 5" by 5". So these are the same size. For the back, you are going to need a shorter piece and a longer piece. So this one I have is about 4 inches by 5 inches, and then the top one is about 2 to 3 inches by 5 inches wide. So 2 pieces for the back. One is about 4 inches long, one is about 3 inches long. You can use a piece of clear plastic vinyl if you wish, and I'll show you you can put that on if you want to sew that on top for to keep it nice and clean and wipeable if you wish. You're going to need some steam-a-seam. You're going to need an iron to press the steam-a-seam on, and then you're going to need your 4x4 hoop. You can use cutaway if you wish, or tearaway. Either one will work fine. I prefer to use the cutaway because then I feel it gives the mug rug a little bit extra stability and firmness, which I prefer. So get the design, load it to your machine, and put your hoop on, and we will start stitching. So actually, before we go to the machine, let's prep our 2 back pieces of fabric. So for the back, we're going to have it up here like this, 2 pieces tucked down. Now I know some people take the back fabric and they will fold it completely in half like this and put it on like that, and then fold it in half like that and do it like this. If you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. It's going to add more bulk and more layers to it. I am preferring to do it only as a single layer and iron down just the edges of the fabric for less bulk and less thickness. So because this is directional, I'm going to turn it over like this, and I'm just going to fold down about a 1/2 inch and I'm just going to press that edge. Now you're welcome, if you wanted to put the steam-a-seam in here to hold this down, but it's going to be on the inside, the back inside like this. And when we're finished, we're actually going to get the steam-a-seam and put it in here like that and iron it down. So essentially I feel like that's, you know, doubling up by putting a layer of steam-a-seam in here, and then a layer of steam-a-seam under here, and then a third layer of steam-a-seam here. And to me, that's a lot of bulk that might add to the mug rug, that might make it a little bit unstable. So I'm choosing to do it just at the end to hold the two pieces together. So we press down the 1/2 inch for the bottom piece here, and now this is going to be the top piece. So we're going to take it and press that up about a 1/2 inch. And then now they're ready to be put when we go to the machine and put them on during the last step. We are now going to sew the first step, which is the outline, to show you where to place down the quilting fabric. So the first thing we put down now is the quilting, the batting. Why do I keep calling it quilting fabric? So you just put the batting down, and then we will sew on top of that to hold that down. For the demo, I'm using black thread. Normally I would probably use white or the colors that match the fabric I'm using, but it's easier for you to see if I use the black thread. So the stitching for this is a little bit shy. It's not as, it doesn't go all the way out to the edge of the first stitching. It's on the inside of it, and that's on purpose so that the quilting, the batting is not going to create extra bulk in the seam for when you turn it. So just trim as close as you can to the stitching. That way it will ensure that it's going to not be in the way of the seam when we want to turn the design right side out. So now that we've trimmed that, we will now put down the top fabric. This is essentially the paper for the design. So again, normally I would not be using black thread, but I'm doing it for demonstration for you so that you can see. So now I don't trim this. I'm not going to trim it until the very, very end when I remove it from the hoop, and I will trim it all together all at the same time. So now what's going to stitch is all the decorative stuff, the lines, the wording, the decorative items, and then after that we will put the back on. Okay, so remember I said before about if you wanted to put vinyl on, now would be the time to put that down. You would just lay it down here and then lay the back pieces on top of it. It's if you want to have a surface that in case a beverage gets spilled on it, you're able to clean it up very easily by just wiping it. I like the fabric left by itself, so this is how we're going to lay them down. So the piece that's at the bottom here. Now, I don't know if you can see, right here, there's a little black line, and right here is a little black line. And you also have them on this side as well. That is where you're going to line up these back pieces, okay? So we're going to take the bottom piece and match it at the top line, okay? So the bottom piece, here's the lower line, here's the upper line. We're going to take this bottom piece and meet it up to the upper line, okay? So it's going to go to the upper line. That. And now the top piece, you can just overlap it as much as you want. You could try to look for the lines. The lines are there, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You could just overlap it as much as you want, okay? And this is, the right side is down on top of the fabric. The wrong side is up on top right now. So I'm going to get some tape. This is painter's tape. And I'm going to tape those edges like that so they don't get caught in the machine. And we are going to sew the last stitch around to sew the back fabric onto the top fabric. So now I'm stopping here to remove the tape since it's all tacked down, and I'm going to gently just tear the tape away because that was a single stitch. And now the machine is going to go around and do a double stitch all the way around, a triple stitch all the way around, and I don't want to have to try to get this tape out of the triple stitch. It'll come out, it's just more challenging, so I like to get it out now and then not have to deal with it later. That's all the sewing there is. Now we're going to go take it to the cutting table and clean it up. All right, so we're going to remove it from the hoop. And we are going to trim around the entire outside, leaving about a 1/4 of an inch. You can use pinking shears if you want, but it's not necessary because this is essentially going to be sealed closed either with a top stitch or some fabric glue or steam a seam, however you want to close these up. Your personal preference. I like to snip in here about 3 times in on the corner so that it will lay nice. I'm actually going to cut a little closer to the stitching. Now that it's all trimmed, I'm going to turn it. So we just stick our fingers in here and turn it out. I like to get my, this is from OESD, and it's called the Expert Point and Press tool. And I like to use the bigger ball. There's a smaller ball and a bigger one. I like to use the bigger one and just get in there and really kind of press out those seams really nicely. just so it has a nice finished crisp edge on it. And we will iron the whole thing as well, so that's not a problem. Now I'm going to get my pressing mat and my iron. And now I'm going to just press this top edge a little bit here. Just going to measure my steam seam. And I'm also going to press the rest of it so it lays flat right now. Okay. And then I'm going to put in the steam seam. So the paper side is up. And you want to make sure you really just get it in there really nice and so that there's no parts poking out, because if they're poking out there, it's essentially just glue and it's going to stick to the bottom of your iron. Whoops. No. So get it in there. Make sure the seam is covering it up. It's all covered nicely. Iron it down. And we'll turn over the other side. And if you used vinyl on the top, you're not going to want to iron it on the top. You don't want to melt that vinyl. But there you go. There is our cute little mug rug that are wonderful for little gifts for teachers and anyone else. So I hope you enjoyed this video today and found the information helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips and tricks and if you've made mug rugs before and what you found helpful for you. So please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, so I know you enjoy my content and want me to continue making more. Please subscribe to my channel and click the bell down below to be notified when I upload new content. Thanks for joining me today, and until next time, make your life creative.